Our guest speaker is Mr. Abhishek Bondia. He is a principal officer and managing director of Secure Now Insurance Broker. By qualification, he is a rank-holding chartered accountant graduate from the prestigious Sri Ram College of Commerce, followed by an MBA from MDI Gurgaon. Sir writes a weekly column on insurance in the Mint newspaper and also writes a monthly column for the Money Control. His expert interviews on insurance have been featured in ET Now, CNN, and CNBC Awaaz. Mr. Abhishek has worked with leading insurers globally as a part of McKinsey and Company. He has also closely worked with the leading hospitals such as Fortis, BL Kapoor, and Max Hospitals. Today, he'll be speaking on the topic, Doctor Professional and Indemnity Insurance. Sir, we present a flowery welcome to you.
Thank you, Dr. Udita, for a very warm introduction and your flowery welcome. I accept it wholeheartedly.
Thank you, sir. Looking forward to your presentation.
Let's quickly share my screen. Just a quick confirmation that the screen is visible.
Yes, sir.
In a slideshow format.
Yes.
Excellent. Thank you, Dr. Chaturvedi, Dr. Sachin Prakash, all the office bearers of IDEA UP for hosting us and giving us an opportunity to speak with you. We really look forward to sharing some insights with you on professional indemnity insurance. There were a lot of very pertinent questions raised by Dr. Vishwas about the kind of litigation, the kind of professional liability that doctors and dentists in particular are exposed to. The objective of our conversation now is about, given the kind of risks that we are exposed to, how do we mitigate that? How do we protect ourselves both financially and legally from a different kind of suits that can come bearing on us, given the kind of practice that we're running? So what I'm going to do is cover essentially three questions. Why do doctors need a professional indemnity insurance? Number one. Number two, how do you make a claim in case you are litigated against? And third, how to buy a cost-efficient and a comprehensive professional indemnity insurance. At the end of this, which will be a 20-minute session, if you have a few questions, I can take that. But we'll dive into it because of paucity of time. A very quick introduction about Secure Now. We are an award-winning insurance broking firm. As of today, we are associated with 25 or more medical associations across the country. We serve more than 20,000 doctors and more than 300 medical establishments. We have presence in about 10 branches, but we serve about 150 locations across the country. We have 160 employees, which are focused primarily on general insurance. If you look at some of the awards listed on the first page, we are well recognized by the industry. For 3 years, or the last about 6 years, we have been recognized as amongst the top 3 insurance broker in all of Asia. And in this last 6 years, we have been the only Indian entity who has been recognized at that regional level. Moving on. As an insurance broker, we work with all insurers. We work with all public sector insurers, including New India, United, National, Oriental, LIC. We also work with all private sector insurers. There was a point raised by Dr. Vishwas, which insurer is the next panel representative representing. So we are actually insurer agnostic, and our key focus is to represent the policyholder's interest to the insurance company. I share with you a few names in the medical fraternity that we deal with, including the Delhi Medical Association, the Association of Healthcare Providers of India, the Association of Surgeons of India, West Bengal Doctors Forum, some leading hospitals like Fortis Apollo. In UP, we work with Lucknow Nursing Homes Association. Just as a testament that we are really close to the medical fraternity and understand the nuances that you face on a daily basis. Moving on. My first question that I want to answer is, why do you need a doctor's professional indemnity insurance? I think Dr. Vishwas actually shared a lot of cases that doctors and dentists are exposed to. And it is from that light one has to see about doctor's professional indemnity insurance. If you see, patients have increasingly become assertive and they want to sue doctors in case they even perceive a negligence. Dr. Rakesh just recently asked a question about what happens, under what section will I be sued in case the patient swallows the tooth. Unfortunately, the answer lies with what the patient would want to do. It is not what is the right thing to do. It is not about what happened. It is on the patient whether he files a criminal suit, whether he files a negligence suit, or he files under some other section. The reality of the situation today is that because our profession is covered under the Consumer Protection Act, it has become very easy for consumers or patients to approach the consumer court and litigate against the doctor. In case they want to go the civil route, they will go and file a case under the consumer court. In case they want to go under a criminal act, then they will go and file a FIR with police, right? So what the patient would do is outside the doctor's control. It may be right or wrong, but what is pertinent is that they can sue you. And they can sue you for a wide variety of things. It could be because of unintended consequences, right? So for example, I think Dr. Vishwas also gave an example where because of lack of oxygen, the person died, despite a lot of care that the doctor took otherwise. But it was an unintended consequence because of which the patient died. But the patient still chose to sue the doctor. It's outside the doctor's control what the patient does. If you think about it, it could be a collateral damage. So you may be doing a tooth extraction because of which the patient has fever, but the patient may also get diagnosed with or contract a viral or a bacterial fever, and that together could be even fatal for the patient, right? It is absolutely outside the doctor's control. What would be a collateral damage? Sometimes it could be about just lack of satisfaction. So a number of you may be in the orthodontic practice. Now, orthodontic, is a little bit about aesthetics, right? Or primarily about aesthetics. And it is a subjective assessment whether the treatment was up to the satisfaction of the patient or not. If the patient chooses to decide otherwise, you could be in for a legal trouble, right? So if you think about the kind of exposures that you have, it could be because of a collateral damage, about unintended consequence. It could be about patient neglecting rehabilitation care. So maybe you did a root canal and you gave a stitch to the patient, but the patient did not take due care of it, because of which the stitch broke out. But the patient may choose to decide that it was not him or her who was negligent, but it was the doctor who did not put a proper stitch. So patients are increasingly becoming assertive, because of which you have to mitigate the risk. Moving on. A doctor's PI policy essentially comes in here where the policy would protect you financially and take care of legal liability that you would face in the consequence of this practice and the kind of cases that we just spoke about. If you look at the way courts have started viewing it, gone are the days where one would say doctor is beyond approach, right? And doctors were at a pedestal, they still are, right? But courts are also seeing this as a service. And there have been cases, some of these we learned in the previous session. There have been cases where even Supreme Court has awarded compensation in the range of tens of crores. There was a case linked to a Kolkata-based hospital and doctors who were asked by the Supreme Court to pay compensation of about 11 crore. Right. So there was a question asked in the chat box on what is the kind of coverage we should buy. right? I think that's the answer to that question is to look around and see what kind of cases doctors are getting, doctors are really facing on a day-to-day basis, and then decide what is the right sum assured. Now, what does the doctor PI policy do? The doctor PI policy essentially covers the cost of appointing a lawyer to defend you in the court of law. It could be in the consumer court or it could be in the normal civil court. If you are found to be negligent, but negligent and not purposefully harm the patient, and the court decides to award a compensation against you, the insurance policy will pay for that compensation for your negligence. That's the kind of policy that's widely prevalent globally and increasingly in vogue in India as well. Also, what the policy does, and only few policies would do, is it will pay for out-of-court settlement. Right? One of the points also raised in the previous session was many cases do not go to the apex court because you tend to settle the matter out of court. Now, not all policies cover it, but I'll come to that in a bit on how Secure Now policy actually covers even out-of-court settlement, which you can mediate between the patient and yourself, and protect yourself. The fifth point, which is a very important point, is to understand that some of the actions that you take today may have its repercussions over multiple years. So you may have treated a patient today, but they may decide to sue you 6 months down the line, or 1 year down the line. There is a provision in the Contract Act, which is the statute of limitations, that varies from case to case. Now, the idea of a retroactive date is to ensure that you are covered from the day you buy the policy, and it continues till the time you renew the policy. So if you buy a policy in 2020 and you treat patients right now, and you get a claim in 2021, if you have a continuous renewal and a retroactive date coverage, then even the historical claims will be payable for you, right? In the absence of retroactive date cover, the insurance company can say that, look, this act, the treatment that you performed on the patient, that was before the policy period, that's why I will not cover it. But if you have a retroactive date cover, then the insurance company cannot deny your claim. I want to quickly cover what the Secure Now policy covers and what the exclusions are. And I think there are a few points raised in the previous session that I'll also cover in the next slide. Things that are covered in the policy. Any kind of breach of duty is covered. Errors in your services, they are covered. If you have breached your contract terms, it is covered. If there are unintentional omissions, so if you are supposed to prescribe a certain medication, but you fail to do it as a negligent act, that is covered. If you have made any other professional mistake, in good faith, right, it is covered. What is not covered is if you already have some litigations going on, you cannot buy an insurance policy and say that let's start getting this litigation covered henceforth. If you have a grudge against the patient, or if you willfully wanted to harm the patient, that would not be covered under the policy, as you would imagine. Any kind of non-treatment bodily injury or a property damage to the patient will not be covered. So, for example, if the patient comes to your clinic and slips on the floor because water was lying there, this is not a professional act, but more of a general liability act, right? So those kind of bodily injury, if suffered by the patient or its attendant, will not be covered by the professional indemnity insurance. This is strictly to do with the care and the treatment that you're providing to your patient. Any kind of a criminal activity. Now, there is a distinction between what a criminal activity is and what a litigation under a criminal code is. If you, let's say, contract with somebody to harm a patient, that's a criminal activity. If you want to steal money from a patient, that's a criminal activity. If you purposefully misguide the patient, that's a criminal activity. Now, all those activities will not be covered under professional indemnity insurance. Deliberate non-compliance with technical standards. I think we covered that one case where a homeopathic doctor prescribes an allopathic medicine, right? So that is a deliberate non-compliance, right? Now, in that kind of a situation, a professional indemnity policy will not, support you because you are deliberately going outside the code of your conduct, right? But if you are a dentist and you stick to your regime, right, and you make a negligent mistake, right, then that gets covered. But if you are a dentist and if you want to do a general surgery, then of course it will not be covered. I want to highlight what is the difference between the standard policy and what we have customized for members for IDA UP, who could avail this. And I think even in Dr. Vishwas's presentation, there were a few exclusions and a few issues that were mentioned about professional indemnity insurance. Because of our working experience with these 25 plus medical associations and doctors and hospitals, we understand what your issues are. And that's why we have specifically identified strong points for you. One, we have an experienced medical negligence lawyer panel. Now, as doctors, you may not be familiar with legal cases. You also may not be familiar with lawyers, right, who understand legal cases related to the medical fraternity. So we have a panel of lawyers who would help you in case there is a need. We have a process, and I'll cover that in a bit, where we appoint a lawyer within 24 hours. We would cover criminal cases out of medical accidents, right? So in case the patient swallows his tooth, but files a criminal case that you purposefully pushed it down his throat, right? And file the police FIR against you, and this is a part of course of your medical treatment. We will cover that in our policy. That is a big deviation that is there as compared to standard insurance policies. I must point out this to you: if the courts decide that yes, you were ultimately responsible criminally, right? There is a distinction between being responsible civil in a civil case versus being responsible criminally. Criminally means that there was a deliberate act of causing harm to the patient, and if the courts decide that, not the patient, they would have done the police investigation on that. So forth. That does not get covered, but the defense cost, any kind of a lawyer that you have to appoint to protect yourself, gets covered under the policy. We spoke at length in the previous session about breach of confidentiality, about how a doctor informed a prospective groom about age situation of a patient. That's breach of confidentiality. That will get covered under the policy. We didn't cover in the previous session as much about loss of documentation, but that is a big deal. As in short, privacy takes more vogue. It will be important that you protect yourselves against any kind of negligence of loss of documents that the patient may be trusting you with. We'll cover you with out-of-court settlement, as I mentioned in the previous slide. The next point is about AOAs to AOY, which is any one accident to any 1 year. This is, let me just pause here for a minute. I'm getting a few WhatsApp tics. I just want to make sure that it's not being directed at me from this group, otherwise I'll take it later. Dr. Udita, can I carry on?
Yeah, sir. Yeah.
Great. So AOAs to AOs to Y, 1:1 means that you can claim the full sum assured in as many claims as you want to. You can make one claim and claim the entire sum assured. Let's say your sum assured is for 1 crore rupees. If you have an AOA to AOY as 1:1, that means in a single claim, you can claim the full 1 crore rupees. If you get 10 claims in a year, you will still be able to claim 1 crore in aggregation of all the 10 claims. There are many policies in the market which sell at 1:4 ratio, which means that if you have a sum assured of 1 crore, then you will be only able to claim a maximum of 25 lakhs for one claim. So it is best that this ratio is 1:1 for you. We cover unqualified staff and nurses. In the previous session, we learned about vicarious liability, which means liability which does not arise from you, but can be sourced to you. So if you have appointed staff and nurses, and because of their negligence, you have a litigation, that will also get covered under a policy. We have retroactive date continuation. We have no minimum member requirement, so you can continue to buy and renew your policy with your retroactive date, irrespective of what the other members are doing. There is zero legal or membership fees apart from the insurance premium. We also cover libel and slander. What libel and slander means is that in case the patient tomorrow sues you because of defamation, because you wrote something, right, about the patient in a social media forum or spoke about him in bad taste, because of which the patient feels aggrieved, it will get covered in our policy. I'm moving on. This is as important as the first one. So what happens after you've got a policy? How do you make a claim? That is a very important thing where we come in. We today, have a large panel of lawyers who help doctors to, fight these litigations that come on them. So this is the important part of our role. First step, and I will keep it very brief. You inform us and the insurance company when you have a notice, or when you think that a claim is imminent on you without any delay. You cannot say, I would hold on to the notice and let's see what happens. The moment you get it, you please, inform us. Next one, the next step is you'll have to give us an explanation on the email on what really happened, right? Along with the supporting documents. You'll have to tell us the sequence of the event, when the patient got an appointment, when he got treatment, how did he get in touch with you later, what if there was any correspondence on email, WhatsApp messages, where they either threatened you or there was a discussion of any kind. Then we select a lawyer, we help you select a lawyer, and it's a mutual decision. We'll open up the panel for you, and then our dedicated claims team will then start following up for a resolution for you. You submit the hard copies of the required documents, and that's how the claim gets settled. And if there are any deficient documents that you arrange for, just to summarize, you get a legal notice. There is a Secure help desk who assists you in the claim. We register the claim with the insurance company. There's the allocation of a medical negligence lawyer, and if a compensation is awarded by the court, that gets paid by the policy. But the entire litigation is covered under insurance. Here is a small extract of the panel of lawyers that we work with, and this is across the country. It depends upon what kind of practice you're running. You may have practice limited to a specific city in UP, or it may be that your patients come from all over India. So they may choose to file litigation in other parts of the country. There have been situations where people, just to harass the doctor, would choose a different jurisdiction, because then the patient, the doctor would have to travel to attend to the cases. So we have doctors in Delhi, lawyers in Delhi, Mumbai, Kolkata, Hyderabad, in Lucknow, in Kanpur, to be able to assist you. Third, very quickly, I want to cover how do you buy a doctor's indemnity insurance policy. And maybe I'll go a little slowly here. Traditionally, how doctors have bought professional indemnity insurance is either through membership of an association, right? A legal, a body where they pay for legal charges as well as the professional indemnity insurance, which is a duplication of expenditure. A lot of doctors have bought policies from agents, right, who are not necessarily experts in this field. So that's why I want to spend a little bit of time here on how you can really evaluate a policy and buy everything online, right, and everything in a matter of minutes, rather than having to, meet someone, especially in the social distancing norms. First step is you have to go to securenow.in, which is our homepage. And there's a prominent box called Doctors Professional Indemnity Insurance. You can click on it, or you can choose to go to this link, securenow.in/profession/Doctor Professional Indemnity Insurance. The first step is to fill in the information, your contact details. The second step is to fill in who you're buying for, right? Is it an individual practice, or you're buying it for a hospital? As I told you, both doctors and hospitals have to buy this insurance. You choose your specialty, and we have a drop down here, so you can choose the specialty that you belong to. For you, it will be dentist. There's a drop down option there for that. and you click on next, and immediately thereafter you would see a few quotes, and you would have the option to choose what is the sum assured you want, which is limit of indemnity, and the territory and jurisdiction. In case you don't treat foreign patients, then the territory and jurisdiction that you have to choose is India. In case you also treat foreign patients, then you have to choose the territory and jurisdiction as worldwide. We have tie-up, as I said, with multiple insurers. What we give you as an option is for 2 insurers online. One is for United India, and the other is for Future Generali. All the covers that I just mentioned to you is there as you scroll down on this. These are the 2 options you will see. The coverages are identical, but you will find a small difference in premium, right? United India is a 100% government of India owned entity, and Future Generali is a joint venture between the Future Group and the Generali Group of Italy. It's one of the largest insurers worldwide, and it's a healthy joint venture between the two. For us, it is more about your comfort. As far as services are concerned, we are your single point of contact in the case of a claim, for policy, and for whatever reason. So whichever insurer you choose and you have a preference towards, we are okay. We would share all the terms and conditions with you transparently, which is mentioned there in writing, and you can download a PDF for your future reference. It will also be mentioned in your policy copy. You select the sum assured you want. There was a question about what is the right sum assured. I'm referring to it again. Our recommendation is that you should at least go for a sum assured of 1 crore, right? And it's not expensive. It costs about 2,000 rupees. But in case you don't have coverage right now and you just want to start small, you could look at much lower coverage as well. We have options from 10 lakhs to like a 50 crore coverage. And depending upon the kind of practice you run, depending on the kind of clientele that you have, if you have high net worth individuals, if you are an orthodontic specialist, then I would definitely recommend a much higher sum assured and be at least at a 1 crore range. But in case your clientele is in the lower income, middle income group, then you could choose for even a lower sum assured, which will cost you somewhere close to 1,000, 1,200 rupees per year, right? So if you think about in a larger scheme of things, given the kind of litigation that you are exposed to, it is a very small price to pay to protect yourself. What happens is that we take you to the payment gateway in the next step. This is through Razorpay, which is a very well accredited payment gateway institution. You can make the payment using one of your options about credit card, net banking, and wallet. We have given you all the options. You make the payment online, and instantly, if you buy from Future Generali, you get a risk health letter, and your coverage starts immediately. In the case of United India, which is a public sector insurer, the policy gets issued offline and comes to you after 10 days, but the coverage starts immediately from the date of making the payment. After this, you're also supposed to fill a proposal form, which is absolutely online. And once that proposal form is filled, you get the policy copy, which you will be able to access via our mobile app or our website. And we will also send you the policy copy via email, which you can refer to in case there is a need. Now, I'll stop here because of paucity of time, and I don't want to take more time. But in case you allow, I can still go through it. So I'll leave it to Dr. Udita to decide, or I can just take Q&A from the group.
Sir, I think we can address the questions from the audience.
Sure.
Sir, I think Dr. Rakesh wants to ask more on that question.
Sorry. Anybody asked any question regarding this? Please raise your hand.
Dr. Rakesh, please go ahead.
Rakesh. Dr. Abhishek, I want to know from your side, if by chance there is a situation intensely patient swallowed the tooth after the extraction, then your insurance company will pay for this amount, for this offense, the amount. Yes or no?
Yes. So first, the first step would be for you to
Nice.
appoint a lawyer.
The situation is this: doctor has been extracted the tooth, and by chance he's moving the head, and the patient know if I swallow this tooth, then the company definitely will pay. But the case is going in the court, and the doctor is showing the video, what is the things is recorded. Then he is doing the verification in the court intensely that patient has been swallowed. In this situation, the insurance company will pay the amount to that patient, yes or no?
No, I'll tell you the way it works.
Yeah, yes. Tell me, please.
First is your case is admitted under the policy.
Okay.
Okay. The moment you get a legal notice,
Okay.
right, because the patient will sue you, because if he wants to get money from you, he has to sue you. He cannot just come in on your door and ask for money, right? He will send you a notice.
Okay.
When he sends you a notice, you have to reply to the notice by using a lawyer.
Okay. The next question is,
Yes.
if for any different type of the offense that is done by the dental surgeon for the patient, the insurance company will pay a different amount or the same amount if the policy is done by the doctors in the same amount.
Okay. So you have to understand this, that the first exposure that you have is of the lawyer's fee. The lawyer's fee will be fully paid by the insurance company. Number one.
Okay.
Number two, if the patient is doing a mischief, then the court will not favor them.
Okay.
Right? The court will decide against them and in the favor of the doctor. In that case, nothing is payable to the patient. In fact, you may be able to counter sue them for harassment.
I am asking that maybe by the doctor, different types of injury has been done to the patient. Maybe a
Yes.
fracture, by chance a fracture has been done by the maxilla, or maybe a mandible, maybe the patient has been broken of the tooth, different types of the injury at the time of the procedure. That these injuries why done the doctors. I am asking the question, in different types of the injury, the company will pay different amount or whatever the same amount, because there
Different
is
amount.
different amount.
Different amount based upon what is the decision of the court. The
Okay.
court decides. The company will not decide this amount.
Okay, okay, thank you.
Of course. Thank you very much for your questions.
Yeah, Abhishek, one question from my side.
Yes, sir.
Abhishek, yeah.
Yes.
Just suppose we always have an informed consent in one line. That is, I have explained everything to the patient. Our patient will receive. That is, I have been explained by everything by our doctors. But suppose any procedure, just like our orthodontic treatment, I am a specialist in orthodontic, that will go on 1.5 years, and there are multiple sittings, multiple wires, and multiple procedures are there. But the consent is in one line. Sometimes they refuse. No, you have not explained that will happen after 6 months. That will happen. This procedure will be after 8 months. For that things, what is the procedures that you will be protect us or not in the court or something like that?
So this is a very valid question, Dr. Chaturvedi, and this is quite a common feature where for any kind of a ongoing treatment or long-term treatment or any kind of a chronic ailment where there is disease management involved, right? There could be multiple sittings, right? And it is difficult to say which act was negligent. Was it the diagnosis, whether it was the treatment, on which sitting would the negligence happen? And that is the reason why you have to buy a long-term doctor PI policy, right? And that is why the retroactive date that I talked about is very important. Right? So let's say you buy a doctor PI policy on 19 September 2020, right? And you get a orthodontic patient tomorrow, right? And the treatment carries on for the next 3 years or 2 years. As long as you've renewed the policy and as long your retroactive date is mentioned for the next 2 years, right? Even if the patient were to sue you 2 years down, right? And the litigation could be for various things. It could be because of lack of consent. It could be because of poor quality of treatment. It could be because of a negligence that you did, right? It could be because the tooth broke out, right? You cannot predict what will happen over the next 2 years, right? And that is the purpose of keeping a retroactive coverage over 2 years, right? So that irrespective of what the patient says, you are protected. And the insurance company also cannot deny that, look, this does not fall under my policy and that does not fall under my policy. If treatment started after the retroactive date, irrespective of when it happened, the policy covered.
Thank you.
Chaturvedi, I will like to add to it. Hello?
Yeah.
You're getting, in between, the Supreme Court has given a verdict some 2 months back that with 1 line, printed consent is invalid. They said that your consent should be extended. That means when patient has to agree, patient has to write in the own language. मेरे को आप जो बात किया वो वायर लगाने का जो है वो 2 साल चलेगा, 1 महीने में आपको आना पड़ेगा, ये सब पेशेंट के लैंग्वेज में पेशेंट हैज टू राइट एंड देन ही हैज टू साइन. दैट इज व्हाट इज कॉल्ड एज अ कंसेंट. आप जो हम लोग जो प्रिंटेड फॉर्म है और पेशेंट खाली नीचे साइन करता है, ये से दिस कंसेंट इज ए इनवैलिड कंसेंट. आपको दांत निकलने का है तो डॉक्टर ने मुझे मेरा राइट साइड का दांत खराब था वो बताया, एक्सरे दिखाया और मैं उनको बोला ये दांत निकालने के लिए एंड आई एम कंसेंटिंग. सो बोला कंसेंट एक लाइन में मत रखो, गिव द स्पेस टू राइट द पेशेंट. दैट इज व्हाट दे से. 2 महीने पहले का बात है ना, ये अभी आया था. So this printed is of no use. Give some patients writing. Yeah.
Thank you.
I think Dr. Milind Agarwal had a question on chat.
Next question from Dr. Udita.
Yes, sir.
Any more questions?
Oh, I think we are done.
No, okay, Sachin.
Any other participant asked any question? Please raise your hand. Mr. Ankur, please check. If yes, so unmute them. Otherwise, Udita, go from conclusion. No more questions. Okay. Go ahead. Do you have to provide the patient with one question? Do we have to provide the patient with a copy of informed consent?
Is that a question?
I have to talk. Hello. You have to. You do not have to give the copy of the consent to the patient unless he asks for it. If patient asks for the copy of anything, it is a legal duty of the practitioner to provide whatever they want. But if they don't ask anything, this is you have to keep the papers with you. If they ask something, you have to give the copy to it. Understood?
Okay, sir. Udita, go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you, Abhishek sir, for sharing your valuable insights on this intriguing topic. Your presentation was crisp and comprehensive. And looking at the response from the participants, I can surely say that you have ignited the thought process among them.
Great. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed doing this.
Thanks can never be enough, but
Good night, all of you. Good night, all of you.
On behalf of IDA, we present the certificate of appreciation to our guest speaker, Mr. Abhishek.
Thank you.
Please accept it, sir.
Of course.